Welcome to the Camps Bay Guy podcast, your go-to podcast for everything real estate related in Cape Town. Now, let's get into the show. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Camps Bay Guy podcast. I'm really excited to get into this one today. It's my pleasure to welcome Cobus Du Preez, the real estate mate, to the Camps Bay Guy podcast. It's great to have you here, Kobus.
Thanks, man.
How does it feel to be back in Cape Town, the place where it all started for you?
Oh man, it's unreal. It's so much has changed, but nothing has changed. Like I think I've changed a lot, and my perspective of the city has changed. Like this city is all that I knew. I've never traveled. I've never visited big cities, and now that I'm in a really big city, Dubai, everything here, the buildings seem shorter. It seems like they they took a few levels off the buildings, and because you're so used to like sort of cracking your neck or watching all these big buildings as we drive by on Sheikh Zayed Road and driving into town here, it was amazing to see it for the first time again in 3 years. So cool, man. I love it.
Wow.
I'm a bit shocked by the weather. I didn't expect that. But I should have, because it's my birthday week. So it always rains on my birthday week. So I should have prepared a little bit better. But it's an excuse to go shopping
Nice,
in
nice.
Cape Town.
Lovely. At the V&A waterfront, hopefully.
Yeah, we were there. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm super stoked. I've been watching you from Dubai. You've had a couple of people on here that I know and that I'm meeting on this trip. So it's cool to be a part of this thing that you're growing. And I think it's going to bear amazing fruit, and you're going to help the industry become something and morph into something that it's not. You're doing something that everyone wants to do, right? But no one has the guts to do it. And you're just taking action and seeing how it goes. And that's what I love.
Yeah, you just got to start, you know? That's the thing. If you don't start, you don't get anywhere. That's the
exactly.
thing. So, I always knew it was going to take some time to get this podcast going and everything. But, yeah, it is a passion of mine. I studied journalism, so... Yeah. It kind of comes, it all weaves together, you know, the universe has a way, everything comes full circle.
Entirely.
So yeah, but awesome to have you here.
Thanks.
I wanted to quickly interrupt this episode to let you know that you can book a 30-minute meeting with me to discuss any of your real estate needs. Just click on the link in the description below and schedule your appointment. Now let's get into the show. Maybe if you can start by giving us a background on yourself and your career in South Africa, as well as your time working at Harcourts.
Okay, yeah. I mean, real estate found me at my lowest point. Like, I did a couple of things. I was always entrepreneurially minded and driven, and I wanted to do this thing and that thing, chasing every silver penny. And that silver penny syndrome really got me down onto my knees. And I found real estate sort of found me on my knees. I went for an interview at Harcourts Done. Literally, I was trying to sell branded pens and pencils and business cards, you know, that corporate stuff. I don't know what you call it anymore.
Okay. Wow.
But I drove past the office in Durbanville, and something said, just stop and ask if you can work here. And I ring the bell, and this lovely lady walks out, and she's like, how can I help you? I'm like, I think I want to work here. And she's like, okay. And so she went up, she went to Mornay came down, they let me in. I had an interview. They asked me, you should be able to sustain yourself for 6 months before. I have no money. My car just broke down. Like, it was mental. At that stage, creditors were calling, where's your car? Where are you? Like, all this crazy stuff, right? And I'm like, what, 25? I've like ruined my entire credit score, just trying to make things work. And I said to Mornay, yeah, no problem. 6 months. I've got enough money for 6 months. I didn't have a penny, but I grafted. So that was 2017. It was June the 5th, 10 a.m. in the morning is when my journey started in real estate with Harcourts Done.
Wow. And where did you go from there? You know, starting as a rookie. Yeah. I guess you did. It sounds like you were selling already. You were in the sales industry. You kind
I've been doing sales. Yeah, exactly. I've been doing sales for all my life because my parents weren't fortunate enough to send me to study. And honestly, I probably never wanted to go study. I wasn't academically very strong or interested in academics, to say the very least. And I sold like door-to-door convection ovens.
Wow.
Like we would go to Hermanus with this company. We'll go to Hartenbos and to George. Every time people go on holiday, we will be there knocking on doors. Hi, has anyone offered you a free bottle of wine? And then they're like, no. And then they come out, and then we try to close them on doing a demonstration of how this oven cooks meat. And then we will actually like cook meat for them while we're doing a presentation. So selling door-to-door ovens, convection ovens, and then selling alarm systems for ADT.
Wow.
I worked in the Atlantic Seaboard area selling alarm systems, and I wish I did a better job at cultivating and holding on to those relationships.
Yeah, well, that database must have been would be worth a fortune.
I mean, I saw all the houses in Lindutno. I put like alarms. You're taking me back now, man. Putting alarm systems in Camps Bay, in Fresnay, in Lindutno. I see all these beautiful homes. I guess that's where I sort of got interested, because for some reason, the universe puts in front of you what you need to see. And most people were always so open to talk to me. And it was always like people who were also interested in real estate. I never really clicked on. But now that we're having this conversation, I'm like, man, it was in front of me all that time.
Wow.
So anyway, always in sales, then Harcourts, and then as you do, you leave a company for a bigger split at another company. Yeah. So I went to Champion Real Estate, and that was a year and a half after I started in real estate, and I did really well with Harcourts, just to go back to there. So I saw, and I think this will be helpful to people, I saw like the OG real estate brokers. They were all top performers, and their phones were ringing all the time. They were talking to clients all the time. I'm like, how do I get to that point? And I realized it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you and what do they know you for. That's why their phones were ringing, because people knew them for being a specialist in a certain area. But no one knew me, and I needed to make money really quickly, and I had no database. So I'm going to jump on Facebook. So I did Facebook Lives, walking through my farming area, door knocking while I'm on Facebook Live.
Wow. Takes balls, eh?
Yeah, man. I'm like, hallo oom, wil jy 'n huis verkoop? Nee, ek wil nie my huis verkoop nie. And then you walk to the next one. And I used to film the conversations that I have with people, door knocking and all that. So through Facebook, people started recognizing me when I went door knocking. They're like, you look familiar. So it's not through Facebook that they reached out and said, because you're on Facebook. So when I door knock, people are like, you look familiar. I'm like, yeah, I'm the Facebook guy. And I was proud of it. Like, yeah, that's where I saw you. That's where I saw you. And so it opened doors, figuratively speaking, like opened doors. Something that really, that comes to mind that was really like, wow, this is actually working, is when somebody called me at 6 o'clock at night. And he said, Kobus, I've been watching you on Facebook for 2 years. Never engaged, never liked, never commented, never DM'd me. I've been watching for 2 years. You've been working in this location, and I want to sell my house.
Wow.
I'm like, can you come now? I'm like, yes, I can. We signed it exclusive. We took 6% no negotiation on commission, because he already knew my value. He already knew that I could pull it off by showing the results that we got. And sold it in 2 weeks. He's now a raving fan. And the
referrals obviously flow in after that. You do a deal like that. 2 weeks. I mean, he's gonna be singing your tune all day.
Yeah, the market was different. The interest rates were different. But social media, the power of social media got me noticed by a company in Dubai. Wow. And so in 2021. They called me and said, like, we see this stuff that you're doing. I think you'll be a great fit. It was just a recruitment spiel. Yes. I was not significant at all when I went to that company in Dubai, because it's significantly bigger than Cape Town. It's so much bigger than me and my brand, So it got me recognized, and it got me a job internationally. So a lot of good things came from social media, and that's sort of my journey from Champion to Dubai, and now there.
Sure. That's crazy. And during your time working as an agent in South Africa, were there any particular challenges or milestones that significantly shaped your career and approach to real estate?
I think the way that Harcourts treated me in the beginning gave me a lot of confidence. Because like in my first year, because of the social media chutzpah that I had, they recognized me and they sent me to do a masterclass for, I think it was in Joburg and Durban or something like that, with Jan Meiberg and all those people. Your mother was one of the speakers there as well. So that gave me a lot of confidence that people are seeing me and are making an impact, because the more confident I grew, not only did I like share the successes in real estate and stuff, but I also went on this personal development journey because of the lowest low that I came from. I had to go through like a personal development, an everyday thing. And then I realized a lot of people are going through it, but no one's talking about these subjects. So I started putting out motivational, inspirational sort of messages to anyone who would listen. And that was, other real estate brokers, because there was relevance there. Yeah. And they could associate with the challenges. Yes. So that was sort of something, the impact that I could have had on one person's life is something really significant for me. Doing the talks with Harcourts was significant for me. Partnering up with Nicolene, that changed our entire system, where I was the marketing broker, and she was the. So I got the listings. I got the listings. Okay. There's a fly here. I got the listings, and she did all the viewings and the contracts and the after sales service.
Like a buyer's agent sort of thing. So you would just focus on generating business, and then she would just sell.
I'll clap the listings and she'll do everything else. I'll clap the listings and the marketing and she will do everything else. So my life was quite easy to an extent. But
that's amazing.
It's great because she's got a certain way of doing things and I've got a certain way of doing things. So people are attracted to the way that I do it, so they come to me. Yes. And sometimes I generated a listing and she delivered such great service that after the sales service, they only communicated with her.
Wow.
Like even though
so you kind of lost that client almost. But you're a team.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're a
so
team.
It doesn't matter.
We're a team. So then a year later, these people wanted to sell. They contacted her, not me, because she was front line all the time. Yes. She solved the problems, but then it came back to me anyway.
Yeah. So then you were like, "How are we going to get this thing marketed? How are we going to get this thing sold?" Yeah. You develop your marketing plan, and then she executes.
She executes everything else face to face.
I'd like to take a moment to introduce one of my sponsors, Van Zyl Kruger Attorneys. Throughout my career as an agent, I've exclusively worked with Van Zyl Kruger Attorneys, and they have never let me down. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with their director, Eberhard Kruger, to discuss what makes them so exceptional.
Thanks so much for meeting me today. For those of you that don't know, Eberhard is the director of Van Zyl Kruger Attorneys. What makes Van Zyl Kruger Attorneys stand out from other conveyancing firms or legal firms?
Hello Josh, thank you for the opportunity. Property, which is the majority of our services. It's an emotional ride for most people, and it's the biggest transaction they'll probably conclude in their life. So whether it's a 100,000 Rand transfer or 100 million Rand transfer, we try to treat each client the same and make it a special experience for them.
What other services do you offer your clients at Van Zyl Kruger?
We do a bit of everything, to be quite honest. We do litigation, civil, criminal, commercial, a wide range of services. There's pretty much everything that we do, or someone inside that specializes in it. So we try to help every single client that walks through the doors.
Eberhard, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for chatting to me, Josh, and good luck with your career, my man.
Sure.
So that we were buyer, seller, agent team. That was something that was significant.
That's amazing.
In the South African market, yeah.
Wow. And what inspired you to get into real estate? Was it just, you just kind of had a penny drop moment, saw the Harcourts done office and you said, wow, man, let me get in there. That looks cool. That's going to solve something. Did something just drop and you were just like,
I'll tell you, I didn't even know what the OTP was, mate. I thought it was like a one-time pin you get from the bank. Like, honestly, yes. I was sitting in the meetings at Harcourts and they were like, yo, I signed this OTP. I'm like, how do you sign? Like, get an OTP, one-time pin from the bank? Like, I had no clue. I didn't know what an interest rate was. I didn't know, like, what a mortgage was. Like, I had no clue. I just needed money. I just needed to make money. And I thought, real estate's going to be the quickest way. And I applied for salary jobs, and I just didn't get a job. And like, that was the thing. Like, I needed something. Found me at my lowest low, and I never knew that it's going to be the thing that I'm going to grow such a passion for, such a love for, and then connect with so many people. Like, we haven't met before.
Yeah. And just through social media, the power of social media is crazy.
That's the thing. Like, that's how I found real estate. It found me.
Yeah.
It found me.
Amazing. And I mean, you've touched on it a bit, but how did you go about building your personal brand in the real estate industry?
I think just insight, action inspires insight more than insight will inspire you to take action. Like, I didn't wait to figure out how to do it or how to not make an ass of myself. Like, I made an ass of myself so many times in social media, just trying to figure it out. Just because on social media, you get immediate feedback from the market. People liking, commenting, not liking, not commenting. It's immediate feedback of what works, what doesn't. But also in the beginning, staying consistent with what you know, because you don't know until you grow through what you go through.
Yes.
And social media, again, like, I'm such a big advocate for it, because right now that's the source of my business through YouTube, which is something I never touched on or really touched on in South Africa.
Wow.
But social media got me noticed, and it made conversations in the door of the prospect much easier, because I used it and I said, look, I want to list your property. You don't know who I am. My prospect has called you. I have called you. Here's my profile. Follow me add me as a friend and see how I do it. So I've started adding people to Facebook.
Just added friends all day.
Yeah.
Adding friends, and then people would just see your stuff in the area. I guess obviously it's location specific, and then all those people see what you're doing, see you're consistent, and they want to work with you.
Exactly. I mean, hopefully they wanted to, but I didn't give them any choice not to notice me.
Yes.
And we had significant market share. Yeah. We had a good market share in the market that we operated in, and Facebook really helped with that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
sure. And what are your views? I mean, I guess you're a big advocate of social media, but what are your views on building a business using social media? Do you still use the traditional methods like cold calling and door knocking, or is your business built entirely through social media now?
It's a very interesting question. When I'm going to talk about the relevance in Dubai. When you get there, you get a database, you get a phone, and you say, swim, bro, swim. Call these people. So cold calling is pretty much still a thing, although it's like illegal now. And
in Dubai?
Yeah. People, I guess it's if they report
kind of illegal in South Africa.
Yeah, it's also kind of illegal in Dubai. They recently cracked down on it. But data is so freely available, it's insane. We get data from people who purchased last month. We know who you are. Anyway, it's scary. Wow. So we still cold call. We trying to get listings through cold calling. We don't. It's different because we don't cold call to really list the property immediately. Like, we've got buyers we work with, so we cold call, like, is it available? Is it available? It's like Wolf of Wall Street type vibes. Like, it's crazy.
You're trading, basically. You're like a proper broker. You're like a proper broker. You get a buyer in. Oh, we like this. You get a seller. You find them something.
Bro, you
just
close them.
It's not like South Africa where
it's all about
the listing
money,
and the people come to you, sort of thing.
In Dubai, in the beginning, it's all about money.
Wow.
It's all about money. Not a relationship with no one, nothing. It's just about getting your bread. And that's it, right? And then after you can sort of sustain your lifestyle or sustains your life, sustenance, then you can start building relationships and a reputation if you don't have financial backing, because it's so expensive to be there. But anyway, yes, we do cold call. But I ventured from cold calling to creating a YouTube channel called Real Estate Mate. And I do educational content on how to invest in Dubai, what to look out for, what not to buy, just educating people on the market. And for this year so far, I've closed like 6 deals just from YouTube, and I've never met these people. I've never met them. And you send them a payment link for something, they pay it, and it's booked. Like, that's
They pay for the
property.
appointment or for the property. You send them a payment link for a property.
Yeah, you send them a payment link for property. Yeah. Like this is the deposit, this is the project, this is the blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
Do you want it? Yes. Okay. 5% booking link. Boom. They pay it. Like, fantastic. Here's the additional 25 or 15% plus the 4%. Then a few days later they pay that, and then you've got your deal's done.
No lawyers.
Off plan. No lawyers. SPA gets sent to them, and then once they sign this sales purchase agreement, then a month later we get paid.
Wow.
No, sometimes that process, but the process in Dubai is different, right?
Different market.
So we focus on off plan, like a lot of plot and plan, as they call it here, off plan.
Yes.
And secondary market. So for the secondary, the primary market, the off plan market is the current, sort of leader in market share.
Yeah.
For this year so far, over 60% of all sales in Dubai has been off plan.
Wow.
And the rest is obviously ready. And now this is a mix of residential, commercial, plots, and apartments, villas, plots, and buildings. And it's I said this off air earlier. For the second quarter, we've had 43,160 transactions.
Wow.
43,160 transactions just in the city.
Wow.
We're not a country, we're a city. And only 8,000 of those were mortgaged.
So it's all cash. It's mostly cash.
All
cash is king.
That's
all
why
oil money.
Oil money. It's not just oil money, but oil money, crypto money, a lot of crypto money, a lot of Russian money, Chinese money.
Wow.
Only 8,000. So if the market's going to turn, it's not going to affect Dubai too much because we're not overexposed to debt. Our debt ratio is very low. The Dubai real estate market contributes 14.3% of Dubai's GDP.
14.3%. That's such a big.
Yeah,
sure, that's
it's
a big
massive.
Number.
It's one of the biggest contributors to a GDP of a city in the world.
Wow.
So that's how important real estate is in Dubai. And that's why it's attracting so many people to purchase there. But then again, for us, a lot of agents.
Yes, because you were saying earlier 20,000 agents.
There was 20,000 registered agents, and I think there's over 30,000 agents in the city. So we've got competition. That's why with this YouTube channel, circle back to social media. It doesn't matter who you know. It's about who knows you and what are you known for. In a landscape that is so busy and so dynamic, people struggle to find someone that they can trust.
Yes.
And when you can put out educational content that makes sense and that is true to your nature and how you speak and how you communicate, people will be drawn to that and reach out to you and then do business with you because they already like you. Then they get to trust you, and then it's easier to do business with you.
Amazing.
Social media.
Sure. Yeah, social media. I think content is king, as you said. And what made you decide to move to Dubai? Obviously, it's such a big decision to uproot your life here, take such a big risk, but obviously that risk is now sort of paying off for you now. How did you decide to make that decision?
No, it was a quick one. It happened so quick, and I think that's a normal thing for most people. Is like like when you decide you go, it's like within a month. And my first impression was like, oh, I'm not going to go. Then I got a call from the CEO. I'm like, okay, I'm getting notice, so let me go. It was a tough one. Only after the fact I realized that my wife actually also had a life here. So I just asked her to leave everything. She worked for Pep head office in the marketing division. She had a really good circle. She had good mates. And I'm like, this is bigger than both of us. We need to go. Because I think living in Cape Town, you sort of get that metropolitan experience, and you also watch shows like $1 Million Listing and Owning Manhattan by Ryan Serhant.
Yes.
I'm such a big fan.
That's good.
And I've always wanted to work overseas. And then I was in real estate, so I wanted to work in real estate overseas, and I wanted to go to Manhattan and do it there. But it was so unattainable, so unaffordable. The barrier of entry is so high and so difficult. In Dubai, you can just come in and you don't even write a test. They just give you a broker license and then you go. There you go. So it's easier to get in than actually staying there. It's easier.
I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to our foreign exchange partner, Currencies Direct. If you need to move money in or out of South Africa, just let me know and I'll connect you with their expert team. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with Cobus Du Preez to discuss their services in more detail.
I would like to introduce our Forex partners, Currencies Direct. And I'm currently seated with Cobus Du Preez. What makes Currencies Direct stand out from other foreign exchange companies in South Africa?
I think we've got the global footprint, and the process of getting their funds here is as quick as a day. And we specialize in property.
Why is it beneficial to use a Forex company such as Currencies Direct when you're either bringing money in or taking money out of the country?
The process, the onboarding, and by onboarding I mean registration, is a very easy, customer-friendly process that they follow. The client has basically a private Forex dealer. I think that puts them at ease that they can actually speak to a person.
Thanks so much, Kobus. Really appreciate it. If you guys need any Forex help, please contact myself and I'll put you in touch with Kobus. And we really appreciate you guys being a part of the podcast.
So I really had this inclination in me to, like, I want something bigger. I want all of it.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment that I decided, cool, this is now or never. I was doing really well in my farming area here, really well. And I wanted to make a decision from a point of where I'm not desperate to move because I need to, it's because I wanted to. And that made it easier for me. And I think the timing was right because all of the money that I made in Cape Town lasted me 7 months in Dubai because I just paid a lot of school fees for things that I didn't know I could get cheaper, this, that. Not really 7 months, a little bit longer. But like, it was the right time. I didn't know it, but now I know that it was the right time because the first year was horrendous. So horrendous. I haven't said this to anyone, like on a podcast now, I went broke, completely broke in Dubai. Completely broke. And I'm not special because I went broke, because a lot of people go broke in Dubai because it's totally underestimated. It's cowboy land. It's so hard to get your foot in the door with so much competition amongst brokers. The landscape of how people deal with you is not anything like it is in Cape Town and South Africa. Here we've got exclusivity. We've got 3 months to sell a property. There it's like it's sold in a day. Like if you don't have a buyer, don't even talk to me. You know, like I'm ready to go now. Call me when you have a buyer. Then you call back and then the property is sold like a week later. It's like really, it's like that.
You've got to be so, it's like a different level. You've got to be so on your game, it sounds
so
like.
On
there's
your
no
game.
time for dropping the ball there.
Yeah, I want to meet you. Let me come do a vardasi. It doesn't work like that. There's no valuations. We don't do valuations.
They know their price. And
my price is my price. And people pay it because there's such an undersupply of ready property in the city that buyers just need to pay whatever the price is, you know.
She was
mental.
Wow. And I mean, I guess you've touched on this, but how does the real estate market in Dubai work? I mean, so you've already basically covered this, this question. There's no sole mandates.
Yeah.
There's no how are you making sure that you get that deal, you get your commission. If it's like cowboy land out there, how are you finding your way and navigating that market?
So the initial contact is always it's cold. It's like, hey, do you want to buy or sell? Hey, do you want to buy or sell? Some people say yes, some people say no. Some people use different language to tell you that they are not interested. And then you sort of just, when somebody says yes, then you're like, great, look after this like it's gold, okay?
Yeah.
So talk to them like they are your friend. If they are open to talking, just talk to them, keep them up to date, give them information that's very valuable. That most brokers just call, hey, is it for sale? Not, I've got a buyer. So that's what most of us do. But the next step is to cultivate a relationship with that person in a really short span of time, like 2 days. You got to like stay in contact, because when they like you, they talk to you like in the
all
day,
the time,
all the day, like the next day. So you have to, and then they start telling you about other properties that they have, because they have more than one. Because the likelihood of a guy owning an apartment in Golden Mile, which is on the Palm Jumeirah where I work, is he's got a villa on the Palm as well, and he's got multiple other properties as well.
Wow.
So then you're like, hey, what else do you have? Hey, what else? Then you kind of discover through that conversation what else he has. And because you had the ability to discover what else he has, if you lose this one that you called on, you know that he's got other properties. So you know he's an investor. So now you've got this guy who's an investor, and there's other projects. We've got a new project launch every 18 hours this year so far.
What?
New project
That's
launch.
how much property is getting built in Dubai at the moment.
Every 18 hours we get a new project that launches. I don't even pretend like I know what it is. And so, hey, then we talk to this guy and we're like, hey, this is coming up. This is coming up. So now we are working to get him to buy something instead of working with him to sell his property. Because the likelihood of him buying something else because he's got this portfolio is highly likely.
Sure.
So that's how we make sure, like, it's not about this one, because he doesn't just have one property, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, one guy doesn't have one property, and that's his, like, pride and joy, and his kids grew up there, and, like, it's not like that, because no one's really born there. Like, most of the people are just expats there, and they've lived there for 20 years, or 2 years, or 7 years, or whatever the case is. So that's how it's different.
So you really have to be on your game then.
Yeah, you have to know.
There's no time for that. So it probably separates the men from the boys in terms of like the top class agents.
Yeah.
You know that if you're a top class agent, you're going to hold on to that client. If you're not, then just go sit with the other 19,000 agents in Dubai and don't make any money, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Like, you have to know your shit. So one thing that is the same is being a specialist in a certain area. So if you do, Palm Jumeirah, you've seen it from...
Yes, the palm.
The palm. So I work there. I'm on that palm every day. It's crazy to think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you're driving and you're on the palm and you see these villas on the waterfront. It's crazy to think that that's my life. There are brokers that are crazy successful on the palm. So... now I got carried away with the palm.
Sorry,
just thinking about...
interrupted you there. No, you carry on.
It's okay. What's the next question? Let's get to it.
No, sure.
Because I can get carried away. Like, I'm so passionate.
That's all good. So the residential market in Dubai has been on an upward trajectory with unprecedented transaction levels in 2023. Sales prices have increased by 18% year on year, and rents have surged by 26% in the same period. This is from a report by Deloitte. What do you think is driving this impressive market performance in Dubai?
The impressive market performance in Dubai is driven by the vision of our leadership. So, first of all, we talk about population growth. It's around 3% per year. So last year we had 100,000 people move to the city. So if we say move to the city, it's people who got residency.
Sure.
So 100,000 people got residency in the city last year. And then also the job creation. The cadence of job creation in our city is tremendous.
Sure.
There's a lot of jobs being created in the tech space and the financial sector space, and in the AI is tech. So in that space, there's massive growth. So I look at the occupancy levels of A and B grade commercial spaces to really say if our city is growing or not. So we're standing at an 89% occupancy rate in these A and B grade office spaces, which means big companies are moving and companies are retaining their commercial licenses in Dubai, and they keep on growing. So if they keep on growing and employing people, the population keeps growing, and we need to build infrastructure to house all of these people. So that infrastructure is not just roads and stormwater drains that we currently have a problem with, but also housing is part of the infrastructure. And at any given point, yes, there are so many properties launching every 18 hours, but at any given point, the government can turn the tap off. That's the beauty. They can turn the tap off to regulate supply into the market. So everyone's thinking, if there's so many properties launching, if this carries on for the next 10 years, it's going to be an oversupply.
Yes.
We don't have a parliament and a government that needs to make decisions over a year. They make a decision today, they implement it tomorrow.
Wow.
And that's the power and the vision of our government.
Sure.
The Urban Development Plan D33 is to increase the population to 5.8 million people. Currently, we are 3.67 million people. So when we reach that, not if, when we reach that, we've got different areas of development that will be ready for all of those people. So it's population growth, the opportunities in the work sector, how much money you get paid when you come and work there, and the lifestyle.
Wow. Stunning.
The lifestyle.
Sure. It seems like a very exciting city to be in at the moment.
Completely. It is.
Wow.
It is.
And more foreigners live in Dubai than locals.
Yes.
So why do you think so many young people are moving there?
Young people are moving there because of no income tax, and also the lifestyle of what they see online and what they can create for themselves. It's crazy how these you should see the young kids there, man. Like 20-year-olds just driving crazy cars, having so much money because there's opportunity. I asked one guy, he says, I can connect with so many like-minded people and people who know so much more than I do and has so much more than I do in 1 week than I would do in my lifetime back home. Like your proximity to wealth is what's drawing people there, because everyone's there for the same thing. And they want to share, and they want to help, and they want to grow. And that is what's drawing people there. And it happens overnight.
Sure.
There's multi-millionaires being made in real estate and in other sectors every single day.
Wow.
I'm one deal away from like retiring.
Sure.
One deal, retire.
No ways.
It's mental. And that's why everyone's there. That's why young people go there. Lifestyle.
Wow.
Sun's always shining.
Amazing. I would like to take a moment to introduce one of my sponsors, Harcourts Real Estate. As many of you know, I've been an agent at Harcourts for just over 3 years, and it has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. What truly sets Harcourts apart is culture, as well as the commitment to growth and innovation, both in technology and client interactions. The management team at Harcourts continually seeks to enhance the client experience and make our jobs as agents more efficient and effective. Thanks to Harcourts' incredible support, I've gone from a rookie to joining the Blue Circle Society, an elite group reserved for the top 10 agents in the company each year, within the short space of 3 years. This achievement is no small feat and is a testament to the backing and resources Harcourts has provided me with, allowing me to grow my own brand, the Camps Bay Guy, within the company. The training I've received at Harcourts has helped me become a distinguished luxury sales agent along the Atlantic seaboard. Some of my achievements include the highest sectional title sales in Mooley Point and Greenpoint for 2023. The company culture at Harcourts has fostered a dedication within me to cultivate enduring relationships with my clients, consistently delivering outstanding outcomes for them. I want to extend a huge thank you to Harcourts for partnering with me and sponsoring the Camps Bay Guy podcast. If you would like to find out more about our amazing company, follow the link in the description below. And how difficult was it to get started? I mean, you said you basically almost went broke in the first year.
Not
as an
basically,
agent.
I've completely...
You went broke in the first year. So you've been broke like twice now.
Oh, bro, I've been broke
a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been broke a couple of times, but always grateful and fortunate having a network of South Africans who took me in, helped out, and it's relationships at the end of the day that carries you through all adversities. You can't go through it alone. The first year was challenging. It was tough. I didn't understand the landscape. I didn't understand how to negotiate deals, because when people love it, they buy it. You don't really have to negotiate too much. There you have to like really USPs and drill it in and like just get an offer out of them and then manipulate this figure and like press these people. At the end of the day, you are pressing people to make a decision, but you're not selling chocolates. What they're buying is not going to melt in the sun. And every single person who's bought from us and bought from me has made money.
Wow.
Every single person.
I mean, that must be a good feeling.
Yeah,
you know, when you sell someone something and you know that this product is going to make them money. You know, you don't feel like you're selling a broken down car to someone, an engine's going to seize in 2 weeks. And,
exactly.
Awesome.
You've got it right. Everyone's made money. Everyone will continue making money following the advice that I give.
I like what you said, the that we're not selling chocolates, they're not going to melt in the sun.
Yeah,
that's quite a good. That's a
exactly.
good.
I think it's
saying
relevant
for real estate.
for Dubai as well, because it's hot and chocolates melt
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah, it's hot in Dubai now, eh?
Mate, it's like 40 odd degrees,
Wow.
43 during the day.
Gee
Yeah,
whiz, eh?
and at night it's like 32.
You have to have
midnight.
AC, eh?
Everywhere is AC. Everywhere is AC out. Everywhere. Have you been?
No, I've never. I've traveled through, but never been actually into the city. But it's definitely something. I was always opposed to it, and I was like, it's just the concrete jungle sort of thing. But now you're opening me up. So maybe it's something that
We'll
I'll
get you over.
definitely visit in the future.
Yeah,
we can do a
we'll-
podcast there.
Yeah, we will. We will get you and
For
your
sure.
future wife over.
Awesome. And was it a bit of a culture shock when you first moved to Dubai?
Yes, was mental. Like understanding these English accents, because it's
Yes.
like Little Britain.
Okay.
And then just understanding accents, like it was crazy. That's the
Wow.
first thing that comes to mind now is understanding like these Scousers and how they talk. I'm like, man, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you slow down? Because he was my manager at the time. Like he says, I find it hard to communicate with you sometimes. He tells me, I'm like, how do you think I feel? Like I don't understand what's coming out of your mouth, even though it's English. It's probably like, I don't know. Culture shock, definitely. Again, just the way that we have to negotiate with people, and then you're like, hey, I've got an offer, it's this price, and then no, and they put the phone down.
Yeah.
They want to sell, they've entertained it, but there's no relationship before transaction.
How do
if
you
you've
get
made me
them-
money, then we can have a relationship.
Yeah.
That's
so it's
it.
like bring me a result, and then
then-
we can chat, and then we can have a dinner,
Yeah.
and then you'll be my agent for life, sort of
Yes,
thing. It's like,
exactly. And when you
nothing
do a
until
deal
the
for
results
someone,
there.
they will stick to you. They will, if you rent someone's property, they will let you sell something. They will then buy from you. That's the other thing that I didn't mention as well. Like if you start in real estate in Dubai, start in rentals.
Yeah,
Then you
yeah.
get to understand your area, you get to understand the people. And from rentals,
Sure.
you build a database of property owners who will
Yeah.
buy and sell. But yeah, culture shock was real. How to communicate with these people. There's no like just logic. Like the way that the way that I say, oh, this is logical. To them, it's not. It's just like it's numbers. It's numbers.
Sure.
Bring me the money first.
very transactional.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very different to here. You kind of you're cultivating that relationship with that client. You show them a few, especially if it's a buyer, you're showing them a few properties, showing that you're willing to give up your time and everything. And then, once you've built that trust there, then they'll trust you to give them the right advice, to make the right offer, and they'll trust you to execute that deal for them.
Some people want to portray real estate in Dubai like that.
Yeah.
That's probably in the luxury market where they don't trade daily.
Yes,
Where you do cultivate relationships.
Yeah,
And then when
yeah.
you do that deal once a year,
Yeah.
then you've made it big and you don't have to work again.
It's one deal a year. Yeah.
One deal a year. But those agents, if they're in the market long enough, they don't just do one of those a year. They do one every 6, 3, and then every month, because they get into those circles of trust.
Wow, amazing. And what does the future hold for you in real estate? Will your final destination be Dubai, or do you have even bigger plans?
Everyone asks me, like, what's your timeline? I'm like, I don't have a timeline. I'm there right now. I think that's a very common thing for most people who went to Dubai and have lived in Dubai and live in Dubai now. It's like you get to a stage where in the beginning it's hard, and then you come to like a stage where I'm now, where it's like I'm here now. This is it. I don't have any plans or any timeline to move back or move to a different place. I'm there and I'm making the most of it. And then when God says move, then I need to move again.
You're just waiting for that call from Ryan Serhant. Tell him to come and join Serhant.
You're reading my mind. You're reading my mind. Serhant Dubai.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Epic. Yeah, no, he's definitely an icon in the.
Have you watched
in
the show?
industry. I have. Owning Manhattan.
Yeah.
I finished it last night.
I
actually.
finished it in one day.
So good.
One day, one sitting, all of it.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yo, no, such
loved it.
very good show.
Very good show.
So then that kind of eliminates my next question, which is would you ever consider moving back to South Africa? I think we'll leave that one for the next podcast.
I'll buy a place here because I want that. Now that I'm back for the first time in 3 years, I'll come more often, and I'll probably buy a posse out here, and just to have it, and then to come home more often to my place instead of like having to borrow a car from my in-laws and borrow a room from my in-laws to have a place. And then, so I want to have 2 lives. Like I want to see, I love Cape Town. I love Dubai. I want best of both worlds.
Yeah, you can come every month. You can come back.
No, I've got mates who do that.
Yeah, there's guys that I know that I've done deals with and I've sold property for, and they just every couple of weeks they're having a hectic time at work. They'll just go to Dubai for a couple of days, reset their mind, and they get back to South Africa, back into the grind.
That's it, man. That's what I want.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm working towards.
But you're going to do it the other way around.
I'm going to come to Cape Town.
South Africa.
That's
nice,
proper.
Man. Nice. Okay, and what are your views on the Cape Town market, and why do you think it's performed so well?
I got no clue about the Cape Town market, bro. Is it performing well? You tell me.
It is. I mean, the market is performing very well.
Why?
Compared to other parts of I think it's the same fact as, I think we've got like a little Dubai here in a way. You know, obviously South Africa, you've got there's no like tax breaks or anything, but I think Cape Town has got it right. We've got a good mayor. The DA is running it very well. Things actually work in Cape Town, and they're encouraging a lot of development. And other parts of the country, things are not working too well. So all the people that live there and have assets there, in terms of, if you're talking about real estate assets, are now, and they're investors in real estate, now want to sell those assets and move that money into Cape Town because it's more of a secure investment.
Is it a bit secure? Like a bit more secure than?
Yeah, well, I mean, things actually work here.
Okay.
Things work here, and there's the tourism is growing at like 7.5% per year.
Wow.
We're seeing flights coming in from the US, 3 direct flights from the US, which means there's a lot more US buyers, people like that coming in. We've obviously got the foreigners that love to buy here, swallows that come every year. So that's only growing. And then there's a big, you make a really...
Do they buy for investment or do they buy for second home?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, both.
Like,
so some will buy for investment purely.
So what do they buy for investment?
They're buying like little 2-bedroom apartments on the Atlantic seaboard.
So the rental yield's good.
The rental, if you're buying on Airbnb, so your short-term rental yield is very good.
Okay.
Like a 2-bedroom apartment, your mid-range return on investment, let's say you're paying 3 million, your mid-range return, so that's if it's not a good year, you're probably making just over 300,000 Rand net. If it's a good year, you're going to make 500,000 Rand net, and you're spending like 3.5 million, 4 million.
Wow.
So the ROI is really good.
It's proper.
Yeah. So they're buying for that because they're not getting those return on investment that they're going to get in Europe.
Yeah.
The prices are too high and the rentals are too low. So they're rather going to invest here and make decent money here. And then the perk is they can come here when we think the Cape Town winter's bad. The winter over there, it's snowing and it's miserable. You only have a few hours of sunlight. So they'll come here and they'll spend 3 months here and they'll just live it up and have the most amazing lifestyle.
This is exactly what I wanted, because I want this clip to be sent to me. I want to use it on YouTube. I want to send it to everyone in Dubai. When it comes to investments, like, this is what I wanted to get out of this podcast most of all, is to understand that, first of all, for me, and then the people that I have access to.
Yeah, obviously the tax thing in South Africa is not like SARS is always the receiver of revenue is always gonna come after you. But have a good accountant, have a good lawyer, and there's always ways around that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening here. And the thing is, they're running out of land to develop here. So now things are moving from Atlantic seaboard into the city center, where we are seeing probably a little bit of an oversupply. There's a lot of property. There's probably over 1,500 properties available in that area, like little apartments at the moment. And there's probably a bit of an oversupply, but it's going to make, it'll hurt for a bit because, maybe those properties are not going to sell as quickly as we want them to, but it'll make it a little bit more affordable for your local South African to buy and get into the market. And then, it's wealth creation. So I'm positive about Cape Town. I think
I'm also
I think-
positive about Cape Town now.
And what we're seeing now is that, that post-COVID thing where it was a lot of a buyer's market where buyers could pick and choose. There was lots of stock available, especially on the Atlantic seaboard. People
Now
were
there's a
getting
bit more
really good deals.
competition.
Now we're transitioning more into like a seller's market. I just had an auction in Sea Point 2 weeks ago. I had 60 buyers that were interested in that property, and only one got it. So,
Bro, you've got
the amount of people looking at the moment for that specific product, which is not out there. There's no stock.
Stop. I want to come back to Cape Town.
It's great. But auctions is obviously also a thing. We have a lot of people. So it's as an agent, it's a great position to be now.
Yeah, of
if you
course.
have the stock and you can get the stock, then the property is
man.
moving.
Amazing.
So yeah, man, it comes to sort of the end of the podcast. It's been really good to have you.
Do we
but
have to?
yeah, we can carry on. But what I like to ask every single guest that I have on the podcast, because we have a lot of young, inexperienced agents that love to watch the show, and it helps them, it helps them in their career. It helps them learn. They're always learning things from this podcast. So what advice do you have for young agents starting out in the real estate industry?
It's going to be hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, but glorious in the end. And that's a quote from Robin Sharma, the 5 a.m. Club book that also changed my life entirely. Having, sort of a morning ritual and all that stuff. But it's going to be messy. You're not going to know what you're doing, but do it anyway. Do what the successful oaks are doing. And then do what you also feel is right. But always continue doing something that is going to push you forward. That's going to put you in a better position tomorrow than what you were today. And I think if you're focused on your systems, the result's going to take care of itself.
Yes.
Like processes, people, and system. If you have processes in place, people in place, and systems in place, then the result is going to be inevitable. That's how you make success inevitable.
Yeah.
And then also allowing yourself a lot of grace, allowing yourself to go through the up and down. It's not the end.
Yeah.
Because if it's not good, it's not the end.
Wow.
Because the end is always going to be really good. Stick it out. Stick it out. It's going to be worth it.
Amazing. Kobus, thanks so much for coming onto the podcast. Real estate mate.
Camps Bay guy. I love it, bro.
Yeah, it was really cool to have you on, and I'm wishing you all the best in Dubai. Go
Appreciate
fly the
it.
South African flag high,
My guy.
high over there.
My guy. Thank you, bro. Appreciate
Cheers.
it.
Cheers.